Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Ryviews.com, and today I'm doing Rycast number 4. This one's about console bundles. Once again, don't have the title yet, I'll come up with it some other time. Hopefully it'll be witty. But frequently, doesn't really make anybody laugh. It's just kind of one that makes you think, and usually it makes you think I'm an idiot. But at any rate, comical title in theory. Substitute here, Rycast number 4. So I wanted to talk about this because it happens a lot around the holidays where you see a whole lot of bundles. And I've been thinking about it where, I had that topic last week about how Nintendo was making a really good move because Super Smash makes people buy other games for their console and, quite frankly, makes them buy their console. I think console bundles are an important kind of factor when considering to buy, but they should never really change the decision that much in my mind. And here's why, so a bundle obviously is going to save you some money. When I bought my Xbox One, two reasons I bought it. One, I didn't want to waste a bunch of lost time for games with gold, where I have gold, or Xbox Live Gold anyway. So I, free games every month that I was going to miss out on if I didn't own one, because it's not retroactive. And also because I found a deal where I got another game or controller with it. So it's like a $50 value, because it could have been a new game or a new controller. So I got it and saved myself $50. And it was a pretty good deal, $50, but I was already planning on buying it at some point. But it's not like I changed my decision about whether or not I should buy it. I basically just bought it earlier because they had a good bundle. In my mind, you should never make a decision that's, $300, $400 worth of money based on, hey, I'm going to save $50, $100, which is my whole big deal with Black Friday, too. I really feel like if you can't afford it at full price, you shouldn't be buying it 30% off. Now, I know some things are, 85% off, stuff like that, and that's a little less crazy. But altogether, too, let's say you have an awesome TV. If you can't afford to buy Blu-rays or a Blu-ray player or cable, then the big TV is going to be worthless. So it's infrequent where you find one cheap, expensive item and you don't need to back it up with other expensive items. This is the same problem whenever you have a giveaway in Oprah or something, where, everyone's getting a house, but then people have to pay property taxes on those houses, which means they're going bankrupt because they couldn't afford to pay for a trailer house, much less, a mansion that they now have to pay property taxes on. So, there's always kind of hidden costs and associated kind of fees, and I'm going to say stepping stones to owning expensive things. So, I feel like if you're going to buy an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One, excuse me, I guess 360 is pretty cheap now. If you're going to buy an Xbox One, you should be able to buy games for it, or at least pay for gold. And so if you're going to save that money, it kind of pales in comparison to the money you're going to spend on games for it, or various other items for it. So it just seems like a bad motivator to change your mind about it. However, if you look at some Black Friday deals, the Wii U was a great example. They had some bundle where it was like a regularly priced U, but it came with 4 games. It came with Super Smash, Mario Kart, some other games. I don't remember 2 other actual games I've heard of. And there were Xbox Ones that came with multiple Assassin's Creed titles, which are both full retail value right now. So those are pretty good deals. And if you're going to wait to buy a console until you get that deal, it's fantastic, because then you're going to buy a console anyway, and you're saving some money on games. But if you're waiting to see if there's a bundle good enough to make your decision if you're going to buy the console or not, that seems really goofy. But once again, I think it's a great idea for the companies to do this, because anytime there's a sale, obviously whoever's putting on the sale is making less money, but that they're banking on extra people to make up that margin, so that if they put something on sale for $5, they're hoping that enough people will buy it that they'll make back those $5 every time. Or, in volume, not every time, because that'd be stupid, but in volume, that they'll make it back. So that's kind of what they're banking on here. And especially in a gaming console, where the big price at the beginning is the console. After that, each game is incrementally much cheaper than the console, so it's easier to buy a game here, buy a game there. Getting your foot in the door with a console is actually the most important thing for them to make money. And also with DLC packs and whatnot, there's a thing about getting games, too. In some of the recent poor game releases they've had, they're releasing DLC for free, which is essentially their way of saying, hey, we're going to cause you to play the game for longer. Here's some free stuff to incentivize that, which is fantastic marketing for them, because Rather than giving away any money, they're selling a product for cheaper, in this case free, but they're still giving away a product that they designed for free. And the longer people play it, the more, hey, I'm going to give them this DLC, maybe they'll want this other DLC. Or the more they play it, maybe they'll convince their friends, hey, this DLC is really good. I mean, there's definitely a chain reaction effect. Same thing with console bundles. If you get a console that's really cheap, even if they're losing money, word of mouth might help. Especially those flash deals that are on Black Friday. If you buy a Wii U for really, really cheap and you're like, oh man, this game is awesome to your friends 10 days later, and they're like, oh, I guess I have to get a Wii U so I can play Super Smash, then they're going to make a lot of money on those consoles that are now full price because you waited to buy Super Smash. So I think it's a fantastic idea. But it seems kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say underhanded, but because I do think it's nice to save people money, but it obviously is not just out of the goodness of their heart they're offering you a cheap deal. I mean, they're trying to make more money in the end. And I think in some cases people get suckered into the idea of, oh my gosh, it's $50 off, I have to buy it. And especially, let's say you're on the fence. Let's say you're not sure you're going to buy one. And this is kind of what I'm saying, hey, it might push you over. If the decision would otherwise be you're not going to buy one, and you make the decision, hey, this is $100 off of a $500 product, I'm going to go ahead and buy one, that's possibly not a good idea. And you've possibly been suckered into it because big savings. You can't afford not to get it. And I just think that's a dangerous mode of thinking. So watch out for that in your own personal life. No matter how much something is discounted, it still could cost a lot of money. Something that cost $1 million and being 90% off is still $100,000, which I can't afford. And that's a fantastic deal, whatever it is. Thanks for listening, everybody. Visit www.ryviews.com for more content, and don't forget to subscribe. And let me know what you think of console bundles. Let me know if you think they're evil or great, or the cure for America's eating disorders, or, something else. Who knows? Feel free to give me all your crackpot ideas. Until next time.